Net neutrality. Noun. The concept that broadband internet services providers should provide non-discriminatory access to the internet content, platforms, etc. It should not manipulate the transfer of data regardless of its source or destination. Dictionary.com. Think of the internet as a highway with motorcycles, cars, and semi-trucks, with motorcycles being the smallest data like emails and text files, and semi-trucks being the biggest data like videos and images, and cars being the intermediate of both. Internet service providers, or ISPs, with the net neutrality rule, are forced to treat all data the same, even the big companies like Google, Amazon, and Facebook. So if they want to increase or decrease the speed and cost of delivery for one smaller site, they have to do it for all of them. So if the net neutrality rule is removed, providers are able to change the speed and pricing for anything they want. Example, you log onto YouTube to see the new Mr. Beast video about rescuing puppies. But you find that all your apps on your phone are gone, with only your phone's message, phone, contacts, app store, and settings left. So you call your provider and find out you have to pay for all the big companies' apps. So if you want to watch YouTube, you have to pay for your normal plan and the Google service plan every month. But some see this as a good thing, only needing to pay for something separately than to increase their normal plan. But something like this has happened before. In 2005, the FCC regulated internet service providers like phone companies, so they didn't charge them more for dial-up. But when providers started to put out DSL plans, which used Ethernet cables, they had to share information and lines with other providers. But when the FCC stopped looking over them, the bigger ones started making a monopoly of sorts. Example, in Washington, D.C., they had over 18 providers, but when the FCC stopped looking over the providers, less than 9 of those providers were left. As of 2017, a little over 50% of Republicans disagree with the change of removing the net neutrality rule, and 55% of Democrats disagree with the removal as well, but they doubt the FCC would listen. So, will ISPs start charging more? As of 2018, no. In their terms of service agreements with their buyers of their services, they agreed not to change separately for bigger companies, but that doesn't mean they won't in the future. But the United States of America isn't the only one dealing with this problem. Countries like Canada and the Philippines, Canada having problems with ISPs blocking union sites, and the Philippines, lower government talking with ISPs and not going through the higher parts of their government. So let's talk about two more, China and India, which are two completely different sides of a coin. China has no type of net neutrality because of the country's massive propaganda campaign, so the government has massive control of their ISPs. But in India, they have every ISP agree to the net neutrality so that everyone in the country that has internet is able to freely roam the internet without having to pay for each big company separately. Oh, that's the end.